Hello and welcome. An artist has threatened to destroy paintings by Picasso, Rembrandt and Warhol worth millions of dollars if the WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange dies in prison. Assange has been held in Belmarsh prison in the UK for 5 years while fighting extradition to the US on espionage charges that could carry a sentence totaling 175 years in jail. Well, he's due to appear in court in London for what could be his final appeal next week. And some supporters say they fear for his life if he's transferred to the US. Well, now the Russian-born artist Andrei Molodkin has devised a mechanism that he says will destroy the works by corrosive elements if Assange is harmed. Andrei Molodkin joins me now from his base in France. Andrei, thank you for making some time for this conversation. Let me start by the project that you've got going is called Dead Man's Switch. So explain exactly how that works and what's going to happen.
So it's a sculpture which kind of represent, which kind of a portrait of Julian Assange. Some artists used a canvas and oil painting. So I used the 29 tons Swiss bank safe, very important part of fragment of art history collections, and explosive mechanism and the connections with the Julian to prove every 24 hours that he is okay. So that all these elements, it represent one artwork, kind of like a minimal artwork. And it's like a portrait of Julian in our time.
So you've got literally every 24 hours a system where it could, if anything happens to Julian, destroy these pieces of art.
Yes, it's a countdown, which kind of 24 hours counting down. And every day, someone has to prove that he is okay. It's the same like in the train or it's like in the nuclear stations. We have to prove that we are conscious and then everything's go well. So if nobody proves that he is okay, so the mechanism will functions and all this important part of the art history will be destroyed by the acid. One, it's a high corrosive, and another, it's element which kind of accelerates these corrosions. And let's tell that between 10 minutes and 20 minutes, everything will be just white ashes. So this kind of structure was developed by CIA to destroy the document in the urgency things in the different embassy or in the different country where they made their base or military state or another way.
How will the people prove that he's okay? Who has to report that Julian Assange is okay?
So we have a two element. One will be inside the safe, and another, which kind of connected with this perfectly, will be in the hand of the lawyers or someone who are lawyers who are responsible to proving that he is okay and who have a direct contact with his situation.
So if Assange loses his appeals and ends up long-term in prison, will this installation just remain as long as he stays alive?
Yes. These installations will keep every day, every 24 hours with countdown will show on the live stream every time that culture it's in the big danger when he stay in the prison. It's culture in the danger when he stay in the same kind of cells, even smaller than this safe. It's every day will be a remind for us that freedom of expressions, information, and speech are in the huge danger.
Now, presumably, the artwork will be destroyed, whether Julian harms himself or someone else harms him, basically if anything happens to him, correct?
Yes, correct.
Andrei, I have to ask you, these are very valuable pieces of art. How did you get them in the first place? How did you collect them?
So you know that I spent so long time, maybe more than half year, even more, to convince so many art collectors. Maybe 80% of collectors, they refused, but 20% who brave and who believe that their collections, it's a part of educations and not only to please the rich people and to put it in the wall for themselves, but it's a part of educational program. They accept to give this valuable piece. Collectors give the piece of the artists who are not alive, and all another piece is given by the artists themselves.
This project is essentially an art installation, as you describe it. How has the art world reacted to you essentially threatening these major pieces of art, you know, the Rembrandt, the Warhol, Picasso?
It's not I who will destroy this artwork. So I create the portrait, and this artwork will stay themselves, and everything will be in the hand of actual administrations or the next administrations. It's if something happened, it's they who destroyed the art history. I would like to put the responsible for people who are made a hostage. It's not I who start to make the hostage. It's they who made the hostage. So it's they who responsible if something happened for this erasing the important part of the art history. So I believe by myself that it's such important language on our time that we have to speak by the language of the catastrophe. Hostage, it's everywhere. And I believe that Julian is a hostage by the United States service. So in Strait of Communications, I understand that we have to make a hostage. And this hostage, it has to be important part of art history.
Andre, we've seen valuable pieces of art, be damaged in protest in places. We've seen soup thrown at the Mona Lisa. There were people who glued themselves to paintings like, in art galleries. And then also Banksy did a kind of unique thing with shredding his own painting when it went up for auction. A lot of people question, should art ever be, put into this situation where valuable pieces of art could be damaged like this?
So I create this artwork, safe will be closed. And as all artist, the act of creations from my side, it's finished. Other things, it stay in the hand of another, let's tell that, in the hand of administration. It's the same like Picasso or someone who creates the artwork and he not responsible for something happened with this or Mona Lisa. So we just not responsible for some vandalized people who can destroy it, right, and who make it famous on the destructions art. The artwork, it's a functions, and the functions of that man's switch, it's really important because it's connected with the life of real persons and very iconical or symbolical persons, which kind of represent freedom of speech or freedom of expressions. So it's a very, very complicated artwork, which kind of I did more than 1.5 years already. It's not just I go with the soup and put in the glass something.
Right, right. Just out of interest, with these, you mentioned artists, and how they don't know what happens to their work. How do you think Rembrandt, Picasso, Warhol would react if they knew their pictures were in this installation of yours?
You know that one time that SS officer, he come in the studio of Picasso where he have a photo of the Guernica. And this SS officer asked him, is it your work showing this Guernica? And Picasso answered, no, it's your work. So I can answer somehow the same. It's not it's distractions of something happened. It's not my work. It's a work of state.
Well, Andre, this is a very interesting story. And of course, I think people will be following it closely to see what happens. So, Andre Malutkin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.